Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. We're your hosts. I'm Sybil Amuti.
And I'm Brandis Daniel.
And before we jump into this week's episode of the podcast, make sure you sign up for our newsletter at
thegreatgirlfriends.com.
And don't forget to leave us an amazing iTunes review.
Yes, that is the payment for listening to this podcast.
I love it. 5 stars all the way. Let's do it.
Let's do it. And we have a guest with us.
Yes.
Angelique Miles.
Hey. Miss Fit at 52, as you all know her on Instagram.
Yes.
Trying to stay that way.
You better break the internet.
It gets harder and harder.
Why is that picture everywhere, though?
Oh, that meme. That's
everywhere.
Really bugged me out.
Did
I was
it?
like, wow.
They're on Instagram right now looking up.
I missed it. Hold on. I need to know about this meme.
No, there's a Fit at 52. I don't know who
Afro Girl Fitness.
Oh, that's what it did.
I love
okay.
them. Afro Girl Fitness. Once in a while, they'll just put a meme together and post it on their page.
Yes.
They have like 1 million followers. And then it gets shared and shared and shared, and it was shared like 1,000 times on Facebook. Even though I was glad my name wasn't on it. On Facebook.
No, the name.
Facebook
Wasn't on, it was on Instagram though.
It was on
Because
Instagram too.
in my discovery, you just go on your discovery. Your picture kept popping up, and you know how like Beyonce's
Now
picture
everybody
pops up.
want to. Y'all, we got okay. What's your Instagram handle so people can just go look
It's
at
Angelique Miles, ANGELIQUEMILES.
Okay, because we can't be talking about all this. Great girlfriends are like, okay, I want to look her up on Instagram real quick.
She's on there. She's
yeah.
like, it popped up, and I was like, "What? What's the news?" Typically it's like a new update, and I
Right.
saw that it was just people recirculating. Wow,
Right.
this is what 52 looks like. Like, girls, get yourself together. Like all these other themes and messages about
It was very flattering. It was very flattering. I took those pictures in August when I had a tan, though. And, I
Winter don't do us right.
Winter is not kind to me. It's not kind to me at all.
Yeah,
I'm surprised people recognize me now, because I'm pale. I probably gained a couple pounds since August. That was around my birthday. I went to Tulum for my birthday.
Oh yes, you did. You had a beautiful trip.
Yes, I did. I'm going back for the holiday.
Oh, nice.
For the New Year, not Christmas.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. So you see me with a tan again.
Yeah, you got to re-up.
Yeah.
I'm looking now. I'm all in your eyelashes. I'm like, these eyelashes.
Oh yeah, these are
popping.
lash extensions, and I love having them because especially with short hair.
Yeah.
I don't have time to wake up and do
all the
They
stuff.
last for a while.
These have lasted me for like 4 weeks.
Wow.
There's a young lady, Julie. I'll give you her information.
Yeah.
She did them, even though I'm mad because she's booked for the next 2 weeks. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Everybody's booked for the next 2 weeks.
Y'all, we in the studio, and I'm looking at. We're supposed to be talking about a podcast, but I'm looking at Angelique's.
You gazing at her eyes.
I'm looking at her eyelashes like.
No,
They're popping.
They save me so much time.
Yeah.
I just put on lipstick. I don't really wear makeup daily.
Yeah.
But with my lashes and of course my brows are microbladed because I had like a half a brow.
Oh, okay. So I've been thinking because you have what?
I had like a half a brow.
So
Like,
then
as you get older,
what?
people don't tell you lose your eyebrows as
What?
you get older. Yeah.
Okay, so Great Girlfriends is turning into a beauty episode. Because I've been thinking about getting my eyebrows microblade.
Oh, it was the
I've
best
heard
thing I've
great
ever
things
done.
about it.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
so now-
it's mine hurt though. It hurt.
People say it hurts, but
It was worth it.
I don't care.
It's
It's
been
worth
like
it
2
for
years.
me. It's worth it for me.
2 years.
Oh, I need that in my life.
I'm telling you right now. I don't think about it. Like
I'm so
I
eyebrows
need it
get on
in my
my nerves.
life.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
brows and lashes is all you need.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
All right,
goodness.
so we actually do have something else to talk
We
about.
do. And as in true great girlfriend form, we obviously were like all obsessed with everything Angelique. Talk about her hair, her beauty, her
Thank
glow. Just like, you know how you do with your girls. Like, oh my God, you look amazing. What's this? What's that? She has those Tory Burch, what are they called?
The moccasin boots.
Moccasin boots on, y'all. And they are just so cute.
I love
Those
them.
are
You
color
all the way,
story.
Sybil.
I know,
they're
make
so
me
comfortable.
happy.
They're furry inside too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they're like real cushiony furry inside. And
super cute.
I love them.
But for those of you that are on Angelique's Instagram, you've learned that she is a fitness influencer. And you've probably, if you live in New York, you definitely have seen Angelique out and about, because she has been in New York. And you are a native New Yorker.
I'm a
so
native
she's
New
been
Yorker.
in New York her
Queens.
whole life. Queens makes
Queens get the money.
Queens get the money. And so you've learned that she is now a fitness influencer. But Angelique, your story, your life story is so robust, and You took a lot of turns and twists, and you have lived all the highs and lows New York has to offer. I mean,
but I still love it. New York can beat you up, but I still love it. And I'm different because most people when they go home, they're like, oh, I got to go to Virginia, or I go to Queens. Like, I live in Harlem. I just have to cross a bridge to get home. So I feel blessed in that I was able to, I was raised here. So during high times and low times, I can always go home. Yeah. And home is here. Yeah. So opportunities are still,
You're near them. And your son is here, right?
My son just moved to Houston, actually. He moved to Houston in August. My grandmother passed away in August. She was 102.
Oh, wow.
She lived a long life, yeah. So, and my mother has been down there, who's 82, taking care of her. So we still have the house down there that's been in my family since 1950, I guess. My great-grandmother bought that house. And it's in an area called Independence Heights. And the Heights in Houston right now is popping. It's like Harlem. Wow. Like there's a Whole Foods right around the corner from my house now, and an Orange Theory Fitness.
Oh wow!
I went to
which I'm so into right now. By the way,
Orange Theory Fitness is good, and then there's a La Grille Fitness, right near there too. I was like, but the only thing is there's like barbecue too.
So you got
right around the corner, and great girlfriends. If you didn't hear us, and look, they're not even giving us a check for this, but I'm totally into Orange Theory Fitness right now. So that's what we were talking about. But when Angelique walked in the door, can we be fully transparent? Okay.
Absolutely.
So when she was walked through the door, it was one of those days.
Yeah.
It's been one of those days for her. And, we can talk about lots of different things, but I think the Great Girlfriends podcast is about being honest and vulnerable and authentic and letting people know the real deal. And as she was talking, she brought up a scenario that an opportunity came that was that was presented to her that could have been tempting, but that would have taken her off her path. And what we're going to focus on this small amount of time that we have Angelique in the studio is like, how do you stick with something? For those of us who have a side hustle or, have decided to go fully into entrepreneurship, of those of us who, are writing a book on the side or something, like how have you been able to stick with your fitness journey and your journey as a fitness influencer?
Well, as we were talking about when I first came in, the music game always, it keeps calling me sometimes, because people see what I've done. And I do post about it. I post about my past sometimes, And I'm so happy that Missy's being inducted to the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So,
and you work with Missy?
I signed Missy.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
As a publisher. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
I signed her and Timbaland to their first publishing deals.
That's amazing.
Love it.
Yeah, they were new. So, it's been a proud moment for me. So people have been hitting me up, I guess, like, would you want to do this? Would you want to do that? And I'm like, it's tempting because as an entrepreneur, as we were also discussing, it's feast or famine. Well, I could have a really good month and then, another month it's like, okay, where's that check they said was coming in 45 days? It's been 47 days.
Right.
Yes.
And that is the real. Yes.
And it's the real. Because you got stuff that's dependent on that 45 days.
Okay. I'm like, I got things to do.
Right.
Yes. I said 45 days is day 47.
Yeah.
Right.
Where's my money?
Right.
So I'm going through that today.
Right.
And I know it's coming. And I have several invoices out there. So I know it's coming. But at the same time, I'm like, I need it today.
Right.
And that's just frustrating me right now.
But those texts and those emails tend to come on the same day or like one day after the other. You have the day where everything's low and then the temptation. Somebody that knows you well and got a good spot for you and a check, they're like, come rock with me on this music tip for a little while.
It just never goes right.
Yeah.
And that's why I know to just leave it there. Yeah. Because every time I say, I've accepted it in the past, like, okay, it should be an easy, quick check. Somebody is looking for a pub deal, wants me to help them out. Okay, this is going to be real easy. Then it's never easy. It's like, some music industry drama, bull crap that I'm like, this is why I left it behind because it's never just cut and dry.
Yeah.
So we forgot to tell you this.
Yeah.
There's this.
Yeah.
And then the artists or the producers acting up.
Yeah.
Just being, I'm just like, so when something was presented to me the other day, it was like, I was like, no, because I'm going to be in like places, like travel is going to be a big part of what I'm doing in 2019. I was like, so I can't be tethered to a gig like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Even though I was like, I can maybe do one-offs, but I know better now I can't be dependent on it. Like I can't depend on it. Like it's something that is just gravy if it happens.
Right.
But I can't take on something long-term, like 9 to 5, because I don't want a 9 to 5. I'm clear on that. Me sitting behind a desk and doing music publishing administration. And people forget, I was a creative. I wasn't an administrative person. Right. I signed acts. I signed talent, and I negotiated deals. I didn't sit behind the desk and count numbers. That's not what I did.
So this is funny to me, right? Because Angelique, Sybil, and I we had a podcast before that got all messed up.
Right.
But this is interesting to me that you're in this place, because I remember when we spoke the first time, you couldn't imagine this life.
I couldn't.
You could so like
funny. That's true.
Yeah, you couldn't imagine this life. So I guess like for the great girlfriends who don't know, like if you could give us like a quick brief kind of like what that journey was like in the music industry and what the transition was like, because I know the transition wasn't easy, but now here you are saying, I can't imagine going back to that, right?
No, but back the 90s, I excelled in the music business in the 90s, and it was a different time. There was like, it was raining money back then. You know what I mean? So this is before things went digital. So, CD sales were like 80% of what publishers were making. And it was just a different time. So I signed acts like Missy Elliott and Timbaland, as discussed, Busta Rhymes, Old Dirty Bastard. I mean, think about somebody in the 90s, and I probably signed them to a music publishing deal. So it was a very, very lucrative, high-profile time for me. Like I lots of doors were open for me. I was married to a man who was the head of black music at Arista back when Bad Boy and LaFace were there. So our vacations were off the chain. I just posted something, one of our St. Bart's vacations with some people. Anyway, I don't want to mention names like that, but it was a time where I didn't think it would ever end, actually. I'm like, I'm going to retire, like, I'm going to be like Sylvia Rhone or something like that, and do this forever and retire. And it just didn't work out that way, though. I don't even know what specifically happened. I think in retrospect, I must have lost passion for it, doing what I did, because I left where I was, and I went to work in records, which I hated. I was at Universal. I hated it. Then I went back into publishing, but could never recreate the feeling I had when I was at Warner Chappell and had all my success. So I lost passion for it. Got let go of my last gig. Tried to work independently, but working behind the desk and in front of the desk are two different things. Yeah. And, I was writing checks when I was in publishing, being on the other side of the desk asking for checks. It was like, I almost felt like people were like, yeah, I got her, because she's on the other side of the desk. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it was like kind of like payback, And once I was out, they just wouldn't let me back in. And I thought was like, with my pedigree and all that I've signed, I can't get back in. What? Yeah. Like, what? And this went on for many years. I'd say 10 years. I was knocking on doors and getting little things here and there. And it was just never the same, because, I didn't work for a big company. Like when you work for Warner or Universal, there's just a certain power that comes with that. And I was working with these little penny ant companies. As my daddy would say, these little penny ant.
I was gonna say that sounds real something.
That's so cute. Yeah, so it was just different, and I didn't like it. So I think my work probably reflected that, because I'm like, people, again, thought I did something else than what I really did. I was like, I signed X. I don't do all this other stuff. So that filtered out after a while. And I think after the last time I was rejected, I was just like, okay, what is it that you want to do? Because this isn't working out, obviously. And it's been too long. You've been knocking on these doors too long. These people don't want to let you back in. The business has changed anyway. Do you really want to do it? If it's just for the check anyway. So I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to get up every day. I want to work out. And I want to practice other forms of self-care. And I want to monetize it. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet.
Wow.
But that's what I'm going to do.
But you know what? There's so much power in saying it.
I just said it. Because people ask me, did you write it down? I'm like, no, I just said it.
So much power in saying it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Did you say that to someone or was it to yourself?
No, to myself. This is a conversation with me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't even know I was going to have it. Because Instagram was still like, for my age group, Instagram is still new. Yeah. So people were making fun of me. They like, you posting all the time. Like, even if they were on it, they weren't really on it.
It's like, no, we don't post. That's private.
Right.
Yeah, the different era and expectations.
Right. So they were like, you post all the time. And I see you posting stuff at home and you doing this and you do that. Like, are you making any money from that? Like,
You're from the South, Angelique.
I was just like, and back then, I didn't know how to articulate it because, again, I'm from a different age group where younger people probably could say, well, you're doing this and you're doing that and know all the lingo. I'm just like, I don't know, but I know it's going to be something. And I don't know when to monetize it, but I know there's a way to monetize it. Yeah. I don't know how yet.
Yeah. Right.
And, people were just like, you post all the time. And I'm like... yeah, like there's something to this. I don't know what it is yet, but there's something to this.
Yeah.
And so now, like, years later, people are like, oh, you're really doing that. And I'm like, well, remember when you were like, why are you posting so much? Now you're like, how do I do this? How do I do that?
Why did you feel it was important to post?
I think because I started CrossFitting. And I just turned, like, I was in my early 40s and... no, this is later, like over 45. And the workouts were so tough that I was like, I gotta tell somebody I did this. I was like, I just ran 2 miles. I've never run 2 miles in my life. And I came back and did like 50 kettlebell swings and then 10. Like, the workouts was so crazy.
Wow, yeah.
Somebody should know I did this.
Yeah, I love it.
That's how I felt.
To myself.
I'm like, I just did the craziest work I've ever done in my life. I'm going to tell somebody. So I just started posting about it. And people were like, wow, you inspired me. And you inspired me to get up and work out this morning. So I saw the reaction people had to me doing it. And it had a lot to do with my age, too. Had I been 25 or 30, I don't know if it would have had the same effect. I think people my age were, my age group, my peers, we start gaining weight. We started gaining weight and having health issues. And so things just weren't the same. So I think that's what the other thing that helped. And I was just like, wow, I'm inspiring people. It's not really just about me.
Yeah.
It was all about, vanity and like, okay, because I was like, I'm gaining weight. I'm not going out like that. I'm feeling down and out, but I'm not going to look down and out.
Right.
I'm not going out like that.
Right.
It was really, because people make comments when I say this on my page, like, hey, I'm doing this for vanity. No, you're doing it for your health. I was like, who really goes for their health like that? Who really does that?
Keeping it real.
You go there saying,
keeping it real.
Right,
I'm at Orange Theory at 5:30 in the morning, so my face can look slim in photos.
Exactly.
Like, I want to look good.
The other stuff, the health part is a byproduct.
Right.
But can my jeans fit? Can my jeans fit?
All our doctors out there who are listening to this cringing, like,
this is what your clients are thinking.
For real.
This is the truth. 100.
Yes.
I want to look good in my clothes. Yeah. And I want to be able to wear whatever I want to wear. I don't want to have to camouflage anything with clothes. And I want to be able to wear inexpensive clothes.
Right.
I had a friend tell me, she said, you just need to get a good spank. I said, that's the problem.
See?
I ain't never owned no spank of nothing.
Nope.
So the idea that you're telling me that I need to get, that maybe I should just go get a control situation.
Instead of going to the gym.
Like, I was like, that's it. You see? I don't want that in my life.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I do it. Even though as I get older, there are people who don't reach 50 or 52. Yeah. So there is a health component to it, of course.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm just
What got you there initially.
What's my stomach? What my abs looking like? What are my glutes looking like?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a vanity aesthetic thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the fact that you've been able to make it as a fitness influencer, right, is amazing. And the fact that you've been able to pivot. We did a whole series one time on pivoting, and the fact that you were able to pivot, because some people that would have sent them into a forever depression. I was there. I had this powerful job, and now, so there are some of our great girlfriends out there right now in a similar situation where they've had this powerful position and it's been taken away from them, and the things they're trying to make work aren't working. What would you say to them?
I would say it really takes some deep introspection for me to say, okay, what do you want to do? Not what's going to make you money necessarily, but what do you want to do? What's going to make you happy? And I was always taught, someone told me years ago when I was in music, you're blessed because you love it. And I loved what I did at the time. So I was blessed. And I feel like I'm blessed doing what I do now because I love doing it. So I think if it's like, even if it's something as simple as you like to cook.
Yeah.
To find out what you want to do with that. Or if you like to knit, I don't know, whatever it is that you love to do that. Especially for the second half of my life. I'm like, I don't want to be unhappy just for a check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though that's the old school thinking. My parents are like, no, you better just go be unhappy. And
40 years unhappy.
Pay these bills.
Yes. But truthfully, that was it.
Yeah.
And that's what, anyone that's in their 40s and 50s, the majority of us were raised to think that way. And so we spend time in these careers with what Keisha Jeremy described in her podcast as obvious talents. Things that we knew we could do, we were good at. But then we find ourselves so attached to a title sometimes that it's hard for us to release ourselves to do what makes us happy. Now, in your case, how did you detach yourself from the title, the power of the title?
It took a long time. I still have an ego about it now because I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore. But
don't forget what it was.
You hear that song? Hear that song, Katie Rain? That's me. I signed the writer that wrote that.
Yeah.
So I still have that. I still don't wait in line for, certain functions.
Yeah. I mean, that's a rite of passage, though. You earned that. But
I'm like,
how do you wake up as the fitness influencer, as the woman who's focused on fitness versus the woman who had this power and might and muscle in the music industry? So many times people have a hard time doing the cooking, or
because they're mourning the other thing.
They're mourning the death of what they thought the other thing, which is not necessarily a death. Every privilege that you had, you still, like you said, it's like you carry it with you.
Right, I've been grandfathered in.
You've been grandfathered in. But
you know what?
I feel like that title attachment sometimes makes us scared to do anything different.
Oh, absolutely. For a long time, I went through that, but I feel like I'm probably known more for what I'm doing now than I was doing then. It's grown to that point. Like people stop me on the street in the weirdest places.
Yeah.
And so I think I've reestablished myself as this person. And it's just as powerful in a way because I'm inspiring people and I'm motivating people that need the motivation, that need just the push or just the example, because there's so many women who over 40 or over 50 think this is what I'm supposed to look like because I'm this age. And if I inspire one person to say, you know what, I don't have to look like this at 52, then that's powerful to me. So I don't need necessarily the title like I thought I needed it.
Yeah.
It took a while though.
Yeah.
It took a long time because I was very, but those doors are still pretty open to me. Like I still get free tickets to concerts. I still have a lot of contacts and maintain some of those relationships. So even though I'm not doing it, I don't really envy anybody that's doing it still. Because I'm like, I know what it entails, and I know when you're doing that, as with any job, your life is really not your own.
Yeah.
You know, you're someplace else for the majority of the day.
Yeah.
And my day is, I'm free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have the freedom to get up, work out where I want to work out, and then eat the things that, you know, that are good for me. I'm not trying to grab a coffee in between meetings or anything like that. And I get invited to really cool stuff. Like I was invited to a really cool like dinner last night that I ate well. And I mean, it's still cool with me. I like doing what I do. So I don't miss the title because the title only mattered amongst a certain group of people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what I'm doing now matters to more people.
Yeah. But I bet you didn't see it like that before.
Oh, no, I didn't know. Because, you know, this didn't exist.
Yeah.
I couldn't have planned this. Because 10 years ago, 5 years ago, this didn't exist.
Yeah, that's real. You're so right. You're so right.
Real. You know, so I'm like, no more long-term planning for me. Because I feel like as long as I plan to do, I have a year plan. And whatever I'm planning to do this year, whatever I do this year is going to prepare me for what's to come.
For whatever.
I don't even know what that is yet. Because I didn't know this existed.
Yeah.
10 years ago, had I known it existed, I would have been a lot further ahead.
But you know, but 10 years ago, you wouldn't have even thought to prepare for this.
No.
You would have said that I'm here in this lane in music. So it would have been, it's amazing. You're right about that because, you know, the world keeps turning and technology innovates and platforms change. Mm-hmm. Who would have thought we'd be talking about being social influencers?
Right. It didn't exist.
As like a revenue model.
Right.
And I think a few things I heard that I hope our great girlfriends take away is everybody won't always get it when you're moving forward in what you feel is right for you. So everybody won't always get it. Everybody didn't get why you're posting all those photos on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And that sometimes we're holding on so tight to something that doesn't even belong to us anymore.
Right.
Like the music industry wasn't your lane anymore.
Not anymore.
And you were, you know, thank God you were able to like let that go so that you could walk into this new space. Mm-hmm. And now the fact that you can't even imagine yourself going back. So sometimes what's ahead, and I think sometimes people get to a certain age and they think, girl, I'm 48 years old. What am I going to do? What I look like? Ain't that what we say?
Mm-hmm.
What I look like doing X, Y, and Z. What I look like talking about, I'm a doctor. What I look like, I'm a lawyer.
So
I'm an executive. What I look like, And you're showing people that here's what it looks like.
And a big part of that too is you can't be bound to people and their perceptions of you and their ideas about where you're supposed to be. Because if you are, you will never put yourself in a position where you can transform your life. Because you talked about before, even when we recorded and then the file got destroyed. It was horrible, and then we're back. But at that time, the part where you talked about inspiring people at a larger level, that wasn't even still a piece of it.
Wow.
You were like, so I'm feeling good about my body. I'm waking up happy.
Right.
It was about you reclaiming and possessing the ability to just live as Angelique.
Right.
But even now, as you've progressed in your role as you see the responsibility as an influencer to help people shape their story around fitness, that's an ever evolving process for you.
It really is.
And what I'm seeing, another part I'm seeing is that we cannot be caught up in the how of things.
Yes.
Sometimes we get so caught in the process, and it's like if we can't see how it's going to fit and where we plug ourselves in, then we don't even step out the gate
and do it.
I had to let that go.
Yeah.
Because people kept asking me, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was feeling bad. I was like, I don't know, because I wasn't making any money. I was at all these, fabulous events. I tell a story all the time. I'd be at like Studio Museum of Harlem Gala with like a nickel.
Yeah.
Like a nickel. Trying to get a ride home. But I look good.
You were there looking right.
I was there. I was in the room though.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of moments like that. But I didn't stop. I was like, this is what I like to do. So God's gonna bless it. Like that's the only thing I can really. That's the only. I was like, I know something's gonna happen from it. I don't know how, but I just know.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: did your friends, when you were in what what we consider, $5 at the gala, that's a struggle zone. Did your friends know that you were going through a struggle like that? Did they understand?
Some did.
And what was their response to you going into this new lane?
It depends. Like some people who had also been through something, which is like, yeah, it's, you know, this is part of the journey.
Yeah.
Others were like, I know, looked at me differently.
Yeah.
Like, because I was so up on top one time. And I think for a minute, people were like, oh, you know, for a couple of years, it was, oh, she'll get back. And then when they saw I didn't, they were like, well, maybe this is who she is. Mm. You know what I mean? Maybe this is just it for her. Mm-hmm. And that was a trip. That was hurtful. Because I was like, I'm still that chick. But, you know, I don't, you know, it may not look like it. Yeah. But I know this is, like, I'm still here, so I know this is not it for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm not supposed to work at the post office. No shade to anybody that's working at the post office.
That's not for you.
But that's not for me.
Even though you're really cute delivering mail, side note.
I'd be mad.
You'd be cute in the outfit.
I would be so mad.
Yeah, you'd be mad. It's not
I'd be mad. I'd be mad. I'd be that bitter mail person.
Take it forever at the dirt. My check is 45 days. She holds my check.
I'd be like, listen, I get it too. Yeah, I would be the horrible mail carrier.
I love it.
I don't know how we got on that. But I was just like, wow, this, you know, it got to the point where some people, I felt it. They were like, maybe this is it for her. And, you know, what can you do but keep going? I'm just like, you know, and not really I wasn't trying to prove anything to anyone else. I was just trying to survive and be happy. And some people fell by the wayside, and I'm actually very happy about that. Because, you know, there's some certain people that didn't need to be around. And I'm cool with that. Like, I'm one of those people, I've been through so much with that is nothing for me. Like, when people disappear, I'm like, they ain't supposed to be here. It's all good. Yeah. It's all good.
Yep, absolutely.
And now I had a lot of that because, you know, you know, when you're used to going on certain vacations and dinners and just shopping, I wasn't able to do those things anymore. Sometimes that's what the main thing you have in common with people or certain friends. And when you can't do those things anymore, it's like,
what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's one valuable thing about, you know, when you do make these pivots and you start redefining success in your life, you really start to see people very clearly. You know what I mean? You start to see people, and you have a choice in the matter. You can try to hang on to stuff and people that don't make sense, or you can give them a good exit alley. You could take the alley to the left.
I know, because I had one friend who knew I was like going through a real hard financial time, like, and I will tell, I pray for anyone that's going through financial ruin, because that's like death. Yeah, it's like dying. Tough. It's really tough. And somebody said to me, well, if you ever want to talk, you know, I'm like, I don't need to talk.
Right. Send me a check.
Yeah.
I need an opportunity. I need a check. I don't need no damn. I don't need to talk about, who want to talk about being broke? Who want to talk about that? Yeah. So that was a trip to me. I'm like, you know.
That's all you can.
Right? Or somebody would do something for me. And, no, I'm in a financial place. Well, I still need that. I'm like, well, you know, I'll have it. But thank you. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. You know, if you've never been through it, you don't know. Yeah. And I think sometimes people think because you look a certain way or you know certain people, you're not supposed to be going through certain things. And they're like, well, you know, if I said, oh, I was in the Hamptons this past weekend and I was with such and such and such and such. One person was like, well, they're going to give you a job.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, and you know, in retrospect, they were probably projecting. But I was just like, oh, I see what's going on here. Yeah. I see what's going on. But, you know.
Wow.
It was like, no, I just spent the weekend in Sagaponic.
Yeah.
That's all I needed at that moment. That's all I needed at that moment. Not the music job.
Yeah. What's your legacy?
Music is part of my legacy because I did a lot.
Okay.
I did a lot. I signed some of the. I'm one of the culture creators. Definitely. I signed a whole host of songwriters and producers that were unknown and are very well known now, Grammy nominated and winning Songwriter Hall of Fame. And one of my writers, Daryl Allenby, he wrote My Body for Keith Sweat, and he also wrote, he also produced the Busta Rhymes, Janet Jackson song.
Oh yeah.
So he like shouted me out on Instagram. He was like, I'm still able to take care of my family because of the seed you planted. Like I was, I was a writer that no one knew you signed me because you just like my stuff. And, I'm able to take care of my family because of the money you gave me and the opportunity you gave me. So that's part of my legacy. I bought a lot of people houses with these advances, these publishing advances. And I gave a lot of people opportunities that, So that's part of my legacy.
Absolutely.
And now, part of my legacy is being an example or an inspiration for women who have given up, who feel like they are supposed to look a certain way or feel a certain way about themselves, or they can't have a new career. That's all part of my legacy. It's still, and it could change again in another 10, 20 years.
Yeah, giving people hope. Yeah, I love it. One thing we should not be eating this year. and then we're gonna let you go,
girl.
But
don't ask me.
But just give us one little nugget, Angelique, that's helped you stay this doggone fit and fine at 52.
I'll tell you, because I eat what I want to eat when I want to eat it. I just don't eat it all the time.
Okay.
Everything in moderation. And I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't eat till after noon.
12.
And then I stop eating by 8.
Okay.
Are you still doing eggs and avocado? Was that what it was?
I eat eggs, avocado. I eat bacon. I eat everything.
Intermittent fasting.
But I try to stay away from the carbs.
Okay.
But anything else goes.
Okay.
Miss 552.
Well, look, if we keep talking to her, she's going to be saying, and I also do this. And I don't do that. Don't do this. But I don't do much.
But I will say, not just food, but weights are very important.
Yeah,
like
lifting weights.
And don't be afraid to lift heavy, because that's what shapes your body.
Yeah.
When people think, I got to get on the treadmill and lose weight. No. Lifting weights helps you lose weight, too, because muscle burns fat.
Yeah.
So lift weights.
Okay. We got it. Well, you heard it, great girlfriends. Thank you so much, Angelique.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you.
I know my day brightened because
yeah.
I'm going in with the sad face.
We could not end this podcast without thanking our amazing husbands.
Yes, thank you, Kwaku.
And thank you so much, Rich Daniel.
And our beautiful children. Thank you, Sam and Dylan.
And thank you, Miss Sky Daniel.
And thank you to all of you great girlfriends for trusting us as your go-to source for everything life, love, and laughter.
You can check us out on our social, on Instagram,
The Great Girlfriends,
on Twitter,
_Great GFS,
and on Facebook,
The Great Girlfriends.
And please make sure that you join our Facebook group, which is over 16,000 women strong.
Absolutely. And make sure you listen every single Wednesday on iTunes, Spotify, Podcast Bean, Podcast Republic, Google Play, and every other podcasting service.
Absolutely.
Be sure to post your questions, share with your friends, keep listening, and keep being a great girlfriend. I'm Sybil.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're signing off.
Peace.
Peace.